my second job after being a dishwasher, which is why I would tell people never be a dishwasher, because you're in the back of the house. By the way, that's great advice. Stay out of the back of the house. You want to be
Right.
visible, okay? Then I was a
Right. Right.
busboy. I got fired because I spilled some water on a lady. Uh, my fault. But I was bagging
Uh,
groceries, and I remember I had this. Maybe this is why I have this affinity for Rolex Daytonas now. But I had this policy, and they weren't watching me. And I'd make new policies at the store. And if somebody came through and they were wearing a Rolex, I would be like, "Hey, we have a store policy that King Soopers requires me to take your groceries out to your car for you." And they'd be like, I've been
no
shopping here for
way.
20 years, kid. I'm perfectly capable of taking my grocery. I realize that. But that curly haired gentleman over there is my boss. And if he sees me not walk out with you, I'm not going to have a job at the end of the day. So do you mind just me pushing it out there? I
Oh
know
my
you did.
goodness.
And then I'd be like, hey, so just out of curiosity, right? Great line, by the way. You can ask anybody anything if you put just out of curiosity in front. Just out of curiosity, I noticed you've got a 7 Series BMW. How does one get a vehicle like this, right? And most of them were like, I'm an orthodontist, and I had no desire to be in somebody's
Right.
mouth all day, right? So I was like, okay, cool, there's your groceries, bye.
Right.
But then somebody'd be like, I'm an inventor, right? And I would say, right out of Easton University, right? When you say you're an inventor, can you give me a specific example of the kinds of things you've invented? This is the stuff I teach right now that closes me.
Yeah.
And when you say blank, can you give me a specific example? Now all of a sudden, this guy that was like, I can bag my own groceries and I got to go, is like, yeah. You ever have frozen fish? Yeah, I do. So there's a process called flash freeze drying. I have the patent on that, right? So anytime somebody wants to flash freeze dry some
My
food,
goodness.
I get paid about 7 cents. Awesome, man. That is so interesting. How'd you get to the patent there? I say it's a long story, kid. I totally get it, right? I don't want to waste your time. Hey, by the way, my name's Matt. You see on the bike rack over there? That's my bike. I got a bike. I can ride it wherever. If you ever need Christmas lights put up, Halloween decorations, your dog pooped in the yard, you're tired of picking it up, guy didn't show up to pull your weeds, you come by King Soopers. I'm here every day till 5 o'clock. I'm the skinny kid in the red shirt. You just call me. I'll ride my bike over, and I got you covered, right? I just want to learn more about how you got from an idea to 7 cents every time somebody wants to flash freeze dry some fish. Fair
Right.
enough? It's another thing I teach. You say fair enough at the end of it, you can make any statement to people and they don't feel like you're being forceful, right? Fair enough? Yeah, sure, kid, fair. Did all of them come back? Absolutely not. Did a good number of them pull back around? One of them pulled back around one day and said, hey, I just got to tell you, that bike, it's a POS, man. I own Bike Source in Boulder. I got in the back of the Beamer. We got a bike. It's a specialized. It had some dings on it. Here you go. Rock
No
hopper,
way.
right? Went from a total piece
Oh
of
my
crap bike
goodness.
to a rock hopper because the guy that owned, I didn't know it was the guy that owned all the bike stores, but because I taken interest in him, then I found out he owned all the bike stores. I didn't ask him. And this is where people are different, right? A normal person with a crappy bike would be like, well, can you give me a discount? I didn't say any of that, right? Hey, if there's
Right.
anything I can ever do to help. Next day, guy pulls up, brand new bike in the back. You know, it's just good. When you're a good person, good things happen. And what's the
Yeah.
worst? What would be the worst of that? He didn't come back. Who cares?